Adarsh Vidyalay. Good afternoon, Sneh ma'am. Good
Good afternoon.
afternoon, Vivek.
Good afternoon.
I welcome all of you to Ideas That Matter, the series of webinars being arranged by Shulini University, Solan, Himachal Pradesh. This is our 31st such webinar, and we have covered 30 top schools of the country so far, Vivek and I. The whole objective behind Ideas That Matter is to connect each one of us, connect us so that we can get inspired. And we all want to get inspired because all of us as teachers have a great responsibility nowadays. The responsibility is to in turn inspire our students. So hopefully through this webinar series, we'll be able to interact with each other. We'll be able to inspire each other for a better, safer, and healthier India. And of course, for each one of us. So Vivek is going to take around 35 odd minutes of his discourse. He's going to be talking about emotional intelligence, and also in the context of students, very especially in these times. Very quickly about Vivek. Vivek is an ex-IAS officer, a motivational speaker, an author, but for me, more importantly, a very dear friend, and also advisor and visiting professor at Shulini University. Quick background to me, my name is Atul Khosla. I am the Pro-Vice Chancellor and co-founder of Shulini. I'm a BTech from IIT Kanpur. I'm a Solan boy actually, so I absolutely know Geeta Adarsh Vidyalay, and I so admire your school, ma'am. I did my MBA after my IIT BTech and then spent 20 years in the industry, 7 different countries, 25 different cities, companies like McKinsey and Company. And around 7 years ago, the teaching bug hit me and I said, I have to go and teach. So I now teach full time and very proudly call myself a teacher. So I'm a teacher and I love to talk and I love to do webinars like these. And like I said, Vivek and I are just loving it every day, talking to friends and teachers like all of you. So with that, let me request Sneh ma'am to please give us a 1-minute introduction to the school, to the teachers, to the topic, and we'll then request Mr. Vivek Atray to take it over. Over to you, ma'am. Sneh ma'am.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great opportunity and a great honor to all of us to have a very, this webinar. And thank you so much, Pro Vice Chancellor of Shulini University, as sir has himself introduced, a multi-talented personality, and today's speaker, Honorable Vivek Atray, a great motivation speaker, author, and so many talented aspects is in the inner core of him. And the today's organizer of the show, Mr. Anurag Avastiji, a backbone of this webinar. Dear teachers, this is an introduction of our panelists as already introduced by Sir. And dear panelists and respected panelists, today we are blessed with 60 teaching staff and 20 non-teaching staff in our institution. And there have been a very long experience of 20 years, 25 years, and if it is not exaggeration, 30 years long experience teachers we have. And we have faculty of arts, commerce, as well as science stream. So we are blessed and we are looking forward to interact with you on the very sensitive topic, how to deal with the emotional health of students. Thank you so much, panelists, for sparing your time to be with us. Thank you all.
Sneh ma'am, what a wonderful introduction. I wouldn't take more time. I'll request Mr. Vivek Atray to please take over. Like I said, I'll come in a couple of times for showing a couple of videos and also giving my views, but Vivek is the star of the day. So over to you, Vivek. Sneh ma'am, you might want to, if you can't see us, you might want to switch off and come back again. And Anurag, if you can offline help.
Yeah, thank you so
much. Anurag, if you can offline help Sneh ma'am see us. So over to you, Vivek. Thank you.
Sure, sir, sure. Thank you, Atul. Thank you, Professor Atul Khosla, and thank you, Sneh ma'am. Very nice, welcome, and it's a pleasure to be speaking to your teachers and you. And as always, the team at Shulini has done a wonderful job to put together this webinar. A lot of coordination and also technical work is required. Well done. And it is absolutely above par what we do. Atul Khosla is very humble himself. He He's a great achiever in life, and he's done so many remarkable things already. And with the university, his dad, the Vice Chancellor, Professor P.K. Khosla, the entire family, and the team at Shulini is doing so much to bring higher level education to people. It's wonderful to see that. So now I believe that, and also I must say that Sneh ma'am has rightly highlighted the fact that the emotional needs of a child need to be spoken about. And Atul has also highlighted the fact that I think all of us are star speakers, not only me. So Atul will come in by and by. And also at the end, Sneh ma'am. So at the end, teachers, please ask questions, and questions can be asked in the chat box or in the Q&A box, which you see at the bottom. And that will be nice. Or if you're on YouTube, you can just put it in the chat. Right. So let us begin with the topic. I am going to start, in fact, with humility, because the emotional intelligence of a person. Let us first talk of emotional intelligence. And one of the main topics in that is humility. Humbleness also is the right word. Somebody who doesn't think too much of himself or herself is somebody who is very, very balanced and calm, and also is not bragging all the time, or what is called pompous, or too much full of himself or herself, not too much self-centered. So self-centered people who are not humble, they can be difficult, and they don't listen to others, they keep talking, then they are not good team players because they are only thinking of their own selves. And also sometimes such people, they talk excessively, not really taking feedback from others. So if we are teaching emotional intelligence or balanced emotional skills to children, and the term which is used professionally nowadays is social emotional learning, which is SEL. And SEL is a term which is widely recognized world over, that the emotional needs of a child definitely need to be focused upon, and the social interaction skills also. So if a child from Solan meets a child from Tamil Nadu, Chennai, then is this Solan boy going to be able to carry out a conversation? Let us say both speak English a little bit. And are they going to be able to empathize with each other, understand each other, talk to each other? Or is this boy going to make fun of that boy for some reason? He eats dosa, he eats idli, doesn't eat rice, or eats rice but doesn't eat the kind of rice with the Himachali dishes. So somebody who has come from another region, somebody who is from a different background, some child or some friend who is new to the class, are children reacting in a way that they should react when such children come or they meet them? Are they able to come out of their own skin and their own shell and their own circumstances in order to adapt themselves to what others may be thinking? Let us take the example of someone who is totally self-centered. We see a lot of leaders in the world today. Many countries are headed by leaders who are self-centered. Unfortunately, you see them talking only about themselves, and we have seen a lot of such leadership going on across countries nowadays. I was watching yesterday or the day before a video by an exceptional leader, a great human being, Barack Obama, and his wife, Michelle Obama. So when I saw Barack Obama and Michelle Obama reading from a children's book in a video about 5.5 minutes, we'll probably be able to send you that video after this session. We'll probably send it to the principal and she can share it with others. That video itself shows the qualities of the two human beings, Mr. and Mrs. Obama. If you look at the video, the way they speak, the way they laugh, the way they have a great bonding and love between each other, it shows that they are emotionally evolved human beings. In their classroom, when they were students, they obviously had good teachers. And they obviously came from a background where the parents also gave them the right values. So a child who is growing up, if he wants to become or needs to become like Mr. Obama or Mrs. Obama. Michelle Obama's book, Becoming is very popular nowadays. You can try and read it, especially the ladies love it. And Barack Obama, of course, is my favorite, the way he speaks, the way he inspires. So if children can become like them in terms of being complete personalities, let us talk about our own Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar faced pressure for 25 years as a cricketer. In those 25 years as a cricketer, everybody expected Sachin Tendulkar to score a century every time he went to bat, whether it's a test match or a one day or even a T20. It's not possible. He's not superhuman. Sometimes he'll get out at 86, sometimes he'll get out at 26, sometimes only at 6. But at other times he may score 206. So life is full of ups and downs. And Tendulkar knew that. Whenever pressure was on him, he did not really mind. He would be focused on his own job. He would do his best. And that nothing can be done apart from your best. What more can you do? So this is something we need to learn. And children, if we can teach them that you give your best, you remain cheerful, you remain unaffected by pressure. That means, what is the pressure that the children face? Not like Tendulkar, but they face pressure of the sort that expectations. Parents want them to perform in a particular way, get more marks, do better. Teachers want them to do better. Teachers want the result of the school to be higher and better. So this is something which we must see, that children are under a lot of pressure because of the peer pressure, the competition pressure, the expectation pressure. Now, I have a TEDx talk. I have 8 of them. One of them is on the need to, one is on reading and writing, where children, I encourage them, or young people, or even older people, read more books, write also a lot. That helps you to grow as a personality. Another one is that life is not about marks. It is not about only competition, only job, only, career. There are so many aspects of life. Yes, we have to study hard, get good marks, and get a good job, and then do our best to be good human beings. But more importantly, what should happen is that students should not get into the rat race. It should not be that, I got 92 instead of 94, which I expected, so I'm so depressed. This is a kind of result of a society which is totally focusing on material success. The person who gets 77 marks in class as opposed to another who gets 95, let us say the 95% person and the 77% person, if we compare their lives after, let's say, 20 years or 30 years, which one will be more successful? What is the guarantee that the 95% person will be more successful? No guarantee. He may get a better job, he may go to a better college, but is he happier at the end of the day? Is he leading a more successful life? In my terminology, success comes from happiness. Success comes from inner peace. Success comes from just enjoying what you do. And success does not come from money, marks, or material success. You may find it odd that I'm saying all these things. Some of you may not have even heard of these things because society doesn't talk like this. But I have heard a lot of saints speaking. I have heard a lot of successful people speaking. I have seen successful people and how humble they are and how really calm and gentle they are. So success does not mean that we are driven so hard that, we forget that there is a family, there are friends, there are people to look after. And children's priorities, if they are in the beginning of their lives in the right direction, that priorities are family, friends, career, happiness, and health. These are priorities. So if we can prioritize our lives, and children are told that you have to balance your lives, be all-rounders, be creative, be sports persons, study also, do well in your study. Nobody's saying don't work hard and don't get marks. Work very hard, do your best as you can. You will find that you will get better personalities. And the emotional needs of a child in a stressful time need to be focused on by parents also. So whenever you meet parents, the school teachers, I must tell you, you must give them some handouts, some studies, some links, some instructions orally that we have researched. Children are happiest when these are the conditions that you follow. For example, it might be that parents don't argue in front of the children. You want to argue with each other, at times parents have to argue. Then they can be outside or late at night when children have gone to sleep and you don't wake them up. Or the other thing could be that don't have a restless atmosphere at home. Everybody's rushing, running, under pressure all the time. Don't have that kind. Have a calm, gentle family time. Spend time with the children, telling them stories, listening to stories, listening to what they did all day long. Communication with the children, parents can have that. More communication. Listening to their fears, worries, aspirations, ambitions, dreams, desires, what do they want to be, and not putting too much pressure on them, encouraging them to be creative. Parents have a great role to play. Similarly, teachers in the classroom or otherwise, when teachers conduct themselves in a emotionally intelligent manner, then children also pick up those tricks. And if teachers or parents or any other elders of the society, they are behaving in a manner which is not exemplary, then children pick up those ideas. So if we keep talking of negative things, of disease, illness, worries, then that will happen. That is how the children will also become. Their fears will multiply. So we'll talk about fear, worry, and calmness, and positive thinking, and emotional intelligence after the break. And the break is very important because not only would I request Atul to share his thoughts because he's an educationist and we're talking about children, also we have to learn about a wonderful research project that Shulini University is doing. And Aman, the student from Shulini University, and her professor Kulshrestha have done a wonderful job to develop this project and research. Over to you, Atul.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you so much. Always so inspiring listening to you.
Thank you.
I think before I get into my video, your talk reminded me of my experience when I joined IIT Kanpur. It is quite interesting because my roommate was from Chennai. So here I was, as hardcore North Indian as it gets, from Solon, and he was as South Indian as it gets from Chennai. He was a Tamil Brahmin. I couldn't speak much. Of course, I couldn't speak any Tamil. He couldn't speak any Hindi. So we ended up conversing in English. I could barely speak English. He could barely speak English. But hey, what happened in the process? Both of us learned how to speak English, Vivek. And who knows? If my roommate was, let's say, from Bihar or UP, I might not have learned to speak English the way I do today, which means my career might not have taken off the way it did, because in today's world, communication plays a very critical role. So I think the point I wanted to make over here is that diversity is extremely, extremely important. And we as teachers need to bring diversity into our students. One of the things that we try to do at Shulini is, especially when we create and break students into teams, is to not allow students to get into teams into their friends or their people from their community. So we try to give them, create teams quite randomly where they could be, again, having a Chennai person or Andhra student, etc., part of the team or part of their room, if they're in hostels, etc. So I think that diversity is an important concept I'd like to bring in. Of course, being in Solon, Gita Adarsh Vidyalaya, I would find it difficult to bring regional diversity, but you can bring diversity in the form of, the background of students, in terms of, when you're creating groups or making them interact with each other, or, there's a huge amount of value in diversity of having male and female students come together in terms of the way they interact. So diversity does create emotional intelligence and empathy amongst people. I think that's the thought I'd like to leave. The second thought, Vivek, which I'd like to leave is creativity. Creativity brings in a lot of empathy and emotional intelligence. And there is one thing I believe that can make ordinary people do extraordinary things, and that is creativity. I think a classical example of that, of course, is our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. He comes from a relatively modest background, but how creative he is, even in adversity like Corona, he's brought in happiness into many of us by bringing in creative concepts like whether it was the candle evening or the thali thing, or now the wonderful package that he's brought in, and he's brought in a new wave of thinking into the country. So creativity is critical. An example over here is my dear student Aman. Aman comes from Punjab. She comes from a relatively lesser privileged family, but she's done some amazing work. She was very, very tough to deal with in her undergrad and masters. A tough student in a sense that was always a trouble student, and you know what I mean by that. Something happened in PhD, and she started working on a project with Dr. Kulshrestha on something related to water, purifying water. They brought in a lot of collaboration. She got inspired. We gave her the environment to be creative, and she's done some amazing work. She's discovered a biomolecule that, when added to water, kills bacterial activity 99.9%, Vivek. She's been awarded something called the Young Water Fellow. It's a global UN-sponsored fellowship where more than 100,000 researchers across the world apply, and she's the one who got it. She spent 4 months in Geneva. She's won a 25 lakh award from Tata Trust to pursue her research, and the list goes on. And I wouldn't be surprised with the extent of the discovery that she's made. Who knows, one day she might win the Nobel Prize. But anyway, that's about Aman. I wanted to show a small video, if you allow, and all of you will get to know the extent of the magnitude of work that Aman has done. But the reason why she was able to do it is the one word which I call is creativity. So let me play the video and we'll then get into the discussion. So can I play, Vivek?
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Vivek. Every time I play this video, I get goose pimples. I still get goose pimples. It's just so path-breaking. And I have to just mention over here that many of you teachers might not know, but Aman is not the only one. Shulini has more than 500 patents today, all done by students. In fact, Shulini is the largest filer of patents in India. Last year, we filed around 210 patents compared to 140 of IIT Chennai, which is the number 2 in the country. So I think it's all happening because of this whole topic of creativity, empathy, emotional intelligence. You bring in EQ into students, and ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And that's my belief. Over to you, Vivek.
Thank you, Atul. Lovely. Absolutely wonderful research work and creativity And the focus is absolutely remarkable. And to become the highest patent filer in the country is an amazing landmark. Teachers and Principal Ma'am, to continue with what I said, Atul added the word creativity, and the emphasis on creativity is very important. Children who are creative will be less stressed out. They will be less depressed, less in difficulty. So children who are creative need to be examples for other children who are only into their work, I mean homework or studies and other things, and not really bothered about creative pursuits like music, art, photography. It is very important that sports, art, photography, music, writing, something becomes a part of the lives of our kids, our students. That will help them to handle their emotions better. Sports, for example, teaches everyone to win and teaches everyone to lose. Because one day you win, one day you lose, and that is what life is about also. But those who have never played any sport, when something goes wrong for them, then they don't understand. So they don't know why this setback. Life is about ups and downs. Life is about setbacks. But where is the battle of life fought, and where is the problem? Where does the problem lie with our personalities, emotional needs of children, emotional needs of grown-ups? The problem lies in our mind. And the mind is a place where it is said that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Idle minds are not too many nowadays. Everybody is busy with their smartphone. But the mind is where we are conflicting with good and bad. And that is where our emotional traumas or problems can occur. Depression results from overthinking. And nowadays, the virus is there, everybody's locked down, and some people are happier than others in the same situation. It is because of the mind playing tricks and because they are thinking of the worst. This tendency to think of the worst is an emotional enemy. It is an emotional blackmailer, that this may happen, so therefore I should not try to do this because I may fail. That is what is restricting a child or a student from trying new things. Failure is part of life. Entrepreneurs who start startups, ventures, they know that they may fail or succeed. If they fail, it becomes a learning. So it doesn't mean that you fail in an exam result. That is quite traumatic for a child. But in case the worst has happened, even then, the mind will enable the child to become stronger and move forward. So the mind of the child has to be given healthy ideas, creative ideas, book reading and learning, ideas from great people of the past and present, inspirational autobiographies and books, watching videos of inspirational people, and also learning about what is happening in other countries. The internet is a vast ocean of knowledge and information. So what is happening in Australia or Finland? How are the children there doing things? Can teachers of the school sit down, get some ideas from there? You know, one example is Grandparents' Day. Grandparents' Day was not celebrated in India for many years. I've never heard of it earlier. But in the recent past, many schools celebrate Grandparents' Day, where children, their parents hopefully also, and grandparents, they get together. Grandparents feel good, children feel good that their grandparents are being honored or respected at least on one day of the year. So these are ideas for the school to involve the children in activities and families in activities where they can actually work as a unit, and you can use that opportunity to actually drive home the positive principles that I discussed earlier to the parents. Parents, I must tell you, teachers, you are also, many of you are parents. I am also a parent. We are actually the root cause of the problem, which piles up more pressure on children. The children themselves are not so much of a problem. The teachers, as teachers, are not creating the problem either. Some might be, but not mostly. And the children are usually becoming spoilt or difficult or irrational when the parents are not playing their role properly. I have also seen in our own toddler school where in fact, we live in the campus. My wife runs a school for toddlers in Panchkula. It's called JPA Toddlers World School. So children who shout and bite and hit each other and scratch each other, my wife is the principal, she calls the parents. They find that these parents are in some kind of stress, or they don't get on with each other, or they have long hours and the children are being raised by the maids. These are problems of upper middle class kinds of society. So what is the problem? The problem is the parents are not giving enough time to their children, not spending quality time. So parents have to be worked upon in order to improve the emotional makeup of the child. And for that, keep sending material to the parents online, in the diary, along with whatever you can, some material to read. They may not read everything. Send them videos, inspiring videos. I mentioned Mr. and Mrs. Obama, great reading from books. Do things which are extra special where the parents get involved. And children, they need to really be kept creatively occupied in order to get over that fear. One more tip I'll give you. Often you will notice in a classroom that this one child or these two children are quiet, not participating in activities, shy, scared. You need to spend special time with them as teachers. I know, and you know for a fact, that children look up to teachers. They listen to teachers. And teachers, if they talk to them separately and encourage the child that, beta, what is wrong? Kya baat ho gayi? Why do you keep quiet? Why are you shy? Ask them. And they will probably be able to come out with some haltingly, they will come out with their answer. So try and get out that answer and try and encourage them. And this kind of confidence will also boost their morale. And also, if you carry out some soft skills training programs in your school, if we're talking only of children and students, we should carry out these soft skills programs so that they know how to talk to others. They are not too shy. They become balanced in their communication skills. They are cheerful. You have seen some children, in fact, the younger children, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, they will meet you cheerfully, a new person. When the boy is 12, 13, 14, or girl is that age, they will stop meeting, talking, shy, withdrawn. Even they stop communicating with their parents. And that habit, unfortunately, continues. And that needs to be really worked upon. So if you work upon such habits, if you work upon the fact that a child undergoing difficulties needs to communicate, then you will be able to come out with it. Let us take a couple of stories. One story which I'd like to share with you is the story of thankfulness and gratitude. And that is the story of how the lesson should be that we should be thankful. So there was a Mr. Pedro who went for an interview, and Mr. Pedro could not find the parking slot. He borrowed somebody's car. He didn't have a car. This is in New York or New Delhi or Mumbai, big city. He could not find the parking. And he was getting late for the interview. Instead of 11, it became 11:20. He was desperate. Finally, Pedro remembers God after trying to search for a parking. He looks up at the skies and says, God, please find me a parking. I'll give up drinking from tonight. I'll give up alcohol from today. Immediately, he finds a parking. He parks the car and he runs towards the interview because he doesn't want to miss it. And on the way, he has time to look up to God and say, God, don't worry, never mind, I found the parking. So if you're laughing, you are perfectly allowed to laugh at this, because the person, once he has got what he wants, he doesn't want to fulfill his promise of leaving alcohol. He wants to just prove to God that he found the parking. Whereas God found the parking, we all know it. And this kind of attitude is not only from him, it happens to us all the time. Many human beings are never thankful when something happens, but they are thankless most of the time. So we need to reverse that. Children need to be told to be grateful and have gratitude and count their blessings, that we have a good home, a good school, a good town, good food to eat, good clothes to wear, good friends. We should learn to be grateful. This attitude of gratitude creates great personalities. And if you come back to the mind, Early year meditation will also help children. In some schools, they've started experimenting with meditation. Make them sit down for 5 minutes before the class starts, first class of the day after assembly or whatever it is, once they are back in their classrooms. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, just sit quietly, close your eyes, focus at the point between the eyebrows, and you can actually practice it yourself also. And watch your breath, notice your breath, whatever technique you like. Children can also be told to meditate. It brings calmness. Calmness is a great stabilizer. Emotionally distressed or hyperactive people become calmer if they sit quietly for 5-10 minutes. And otherwise, what happens? Keep on talking all the day, keep on working all the day, keep on looking at your phone all the day. No rest to the mind except when you sleep. And when you sleep, it is different. That is a different kind of rest. When you're awake and quiet and sitting in silence with your eyes closed, that is the time when you're meditating. That helps. So teachers as well should practice meditation. In my view, I've been practicing it for the last 12 years. And tomorrow, actually, Shulini University is conducting a guided meditation session. And Atul will tell you about it. And please join for that. That link will come to you. And this book I have kept here is the Autobiography of a Yogi, which is a wonderful, wonderful book for everybody to read. It is a really life-changing book. Children may not understand it much, but grown-ups can read. It has been translated into all languages of the world, almost all languages, more than 50 languages. It is available in Hindi, definitely. So please read this book and find out about meditation. It is not a religious book. It is a spiritual book. So spirituality is something which should be part of our life. The child's body, mind, and soul all have to be developed. Our own body, mind, and soul have to be developed, looked after equally. That is something we need to focus on for better balanced personalities and better human beings to be created in today's world. I am going to stop here and request Atul Khosla to come back with his ideas. And Professor Khosla, over to you, and then a video.
Thank you, Vivek. I think so well said. But I do know that it's not that easy to meditate. It's not that easy to have such strong emotional intelligence or empathy. But I think we can all try. I think as teachers, if we try and we succeed, we can pass over the some of these gains over to our students. Like I did mention when I started, I'm a Solon boy. I grew up in Solon. I can tell you that typically students from smaller towns, they struggle much more when they go to larger towns because larger town students, especially the ones who can do chatter English, that's the word we use, Vivek. You know, they think that we are lallus and we are not, but we have to sort of push ourselves a little more to earn our place in this world. And I think that fighting spirit is also very important that, you know, we build it into our students, which I think many of them have. I think I'd like to also thank all of you teachers right now, because my very strong belief is that you are the ones who are changing the world. You are the ones who are making great human beings. You're the ones who are making great Indians. It's young India that's going to make India of the future. It's the young human beings of Mother Earth who will make the Earth or human beings a great race going forward. And it cannot happen without you teachers. Whatever little I did in life, whether it was getting into IIT or further being successful in my career, Vivek, couldn't have happened without my teachers. I'm very, very lucky. I got some great set of teachers in my school, which happened to be St. Luke's when I was growing up. And we had a great principal. I still remember him, Mr. Michael. Some of you might even be students of his along with me. So I think with that, I would like to play a video. And, you know, I was just thinking, and I was thinking of the concept of how do we make our students fearless in the way, the careers they choose and the life they choose. But I think I'll first play the video about young India, my passion of creating world beaters out of these young Indians. I'm sure that's your passion, all of you teachers. We'll all resonate with this, and we'll have Vivek talk, and I'd like to bring in the concept of being fearless in our life choices before we end the day today. So if you allow me, Vivek, I'm going to play this video.
Please go ahead.
throughout history. The young have always been the ones to shape the future. And they continue to do so today. You are the country's biggest asset, our best bet to conquer the future. So what are you waiting for? Your time to dream is now. Dream of the research that can change the world. Dream of a high-flying corporate career. Dream of higher studies in the world's best universities. Dream of developing cutting-edge technology of the future. Dream of your own global startup. Shooting University, we empower you and enable you to chase your dreams and change the world. Shooting University, think learning, think success.
Vivek, before I bring in this concept of fearlessness, I would want you to end with your words. I think you might have a few charts to show, which you normally do, but I'm not sure whether you're doing that or not today.
Yeah, I'm going to. So what I'm going to do, teachers, just to take you through a few qualities which are very important for human beings, and these qualities actually come from the Bhagavad Gita. I won't be able to share this list on the screen, but I have 26 qualities given in the Bhagavad Gita, which are part of these qualities. In fact, why don't I just try to share it? I'll just take a minute. So I'm just reading it out at the same time. Fearlessness, purity of inner psyche, perseverance in the yoga of self-knowledge, charity, self-restraint, sacrifice, study of the scriptures, honesty, non-violence, truthfulness, absence of anger, renunciation, equanimity, abstinence from malicious talk, compassion for all creatures, freedom from greed, gentleness, modesty, absence of fickleness, splendor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, absence of malice, and absence of pride. Now, these are qualities which, I mean, they may be seeming to be superhuman. For example, we say freedom from greed and absence of fickleness. Let us focus on two of them. Absence of fickleness means that we are not moody. It is not that we are at times we are saying one thing, at another time we're saying another thing, and we keep shifting our stance, or we are criticizing somebody and then praising somebody and then again criticizing the same person. That is fickleness. So absence of fickleness is a quality where you don't have that fickle kind of attitude. And greed is something which is a little part of most people. And that is something which you must avoid, that you have something to be happy about. Why do we want what the neighbor has, what the other friend has? We try to be calm and happy with what we have. So these qualities are listed in the Bhagavad Gita, and these are qualities which are wonderful qualities for you to try to follow and emulate. Atul, what I'm going to do is take a couple of minutes to share. Would you like to take the questions till then?
I was very keen to bring in one concept which I'm very, very I would say I really strongly believe in, which is how do we ensure that we encourage our students to pick up areas of life or areas of work that they really believe in, that they really feel like doing, which basically means many times they have to be very courageous. They have to be very fearless in terms of the conviction of what they want to do. And I think you brought in the concept of conviction, Vivek. So I think as teachers, we need to make our students blossom, because we cannot make an elephant climb a tree. And if you try to do that, both the tree will break and so will the elephant. And I think that's the key. So I would just like to end with a small poem of Javed Akhtar, if you allow me, Vivek. It's a beautiful poem that he wrote for his daughter, Zoya Akhtar. And the name of this poem is Doraha. It goes like this. I'll just read a few lines. यह जीवन एक राह नहीं, यह जीवन एक राह नहीं, एक दोराहा है. पहला रास्ता बहुत सहल है, इसमें कोई मोड़ नहीं है. यह रास्ता इस दुनिया से बेजोड़ नहीं है. इस रास्ते पर मिलते हैं रेतों के आंगन, इस रास्ते पर मिलते हैं रिश्तों के बंधन. इस रास्ते पर चलने वाले कहने को सब कुछ पाते हैं, लेकिन टुकड़े टुकड़े होकर सब रिश्तों में बन जाते हैं. दूसरा रास्ता बहुत कठिन है, इस रास्ते में कोई किसी के साथ नहीं है, कोई सहारा देने वाला हाथ नहीं है. इस रास्ते में धूप है, कोई छांव नहीं है, जहां तसल्ली भीख में दे दे ऐसा कोई गांव नहीं है. ये उन लोगों का रास्ता है जो खुद अपने तक जाते हैं, जो खुद अपने आप को पाते हैं. यह रास्ता आसान नहीं है, लेकिन मुझको यह भी गम है, तुमको कब तक क्यों अपनी पहचान नहीं है. थैंक यू.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very well expressed by Javed Akhtar and very relevant, actually. This is something that we need to focus on. So I'm just taking a minute more, Atul. Would you like to just carry on?
Absolutely. Just, I think we can pick up questions from the audience. We'd love to do that.
Sure.
And I think Anupriya ma'am, thank you for the comments. But if you ask some questions, we'll be delighted. I have a few, Vivek. And my very favorite question always is that, we are in tough times. If you look at our teachers today, they're just doing such a wonderful job. They're all the Corona warriors of the future of today. They're going out and making sure that every student learns. But it's also very tough for them. They're mothers, they are daughters, they're daughters-in-law. They're also teachers. Lots of stress. What should they do to manage the stress?
Yeah, so I feel that managing stress is a question of focusing on those things which give you more joy and more happiness and which are your priorities. So you are often stressed out because there are times when you are engaged in unproductive things which are actually stressing you out. Of course, you have to make your family, supposing you're cooking food for them, you have to get them ready, children that is, and you have to do other things in life at home and then your school. There are so many things. But if you take out time for yourself, about half an hour, 45 minutes every day, meditate a little, read a book, do those things which you really love doing, then you will find energy for the rest of the day. Otherwise, you'll keep stressed out. And these days in the lockdown also, you can find that time and try and just refresh your mind during the day by doing those things which actually make your heart sing with joy, let's say. So if that happens, then work doesn't seem, or problems don't seem that difficult. So just keep on keeping on in that respect, it might work. Yeah.
So Deepika ma'am is saying thanks a ton, and she's saying thank you for motivating us with your stories and energy. And Rakesh Goelji is also saying very inspiring webinar. So it feels good, Vivek. I can feel the very positive energy from you too. So thank you.
Thank you. And just giving you one of the slides. I don't know why the other one hasn't come, but these are half the qualities. Let's go through these once again to conclude. So these are qualities, as I said, 26 qualities from the Gita, and they are given as ideal qualities. That means that these are for complete human beings who are like God-like. We are all not God-like, but at least we can try to improve our qualities in this level. And children, if our children can pick up such qualities. What is equanimity? Equanimity means even-mindedness. We are not too boisterous or too excited when things are good, and not too low or sad when things are bad. So we don't have mood swings or extreme reactions. We are more moderate in our reaction, more calm. Abstinence from malicious talk, gossip, rumors, criticism. Try and avoid them. किसी के किसी की वजह से हंसना, उनकी बुराइयां करना. I mean, let's not do such things. Sometimes it's okay to have fun at somebody's expense, but malicious talk means hateful talk. That is extreme. Compassion, empathy. Children, if they develop that compassion in the young age, thinking of others, as Atul and I spoke, somebody from Chennai, somebody from other areas, somebody for all creatures, that is animals, birds. Freedom from greed, we spoke about. Gentleness, modesty, which is humility, we spoke about it. Absence of fickleness, we spoke about. Splendor, which means large-heartedness. Aura, that means a personality which is splendid. Forgiveness, which means not keeping grudges and thinking of revenge. Somebody did something to you in 2009, you are still thinking about what he said 11 years ago. Forget it. Forgive that person and move on. Fortitude, that means resilience, strength of being. Cleanliness of mind, not thinking bad thoughts about people. Absence of malice. First one was absence of malicious talk, abstinence from malicious talk. This one is absence of hate and hatred and malice. And 26 is absence of pride, which is again not showing off and not becoming too much. And children also, if they remain humble, they will learn how to be balanced. So this was half the qualities. The rest of the list is also there, which we can share. But the point is that tomorrow, if you can join in the guided meditation, which link will be available to you, it will be great. And I believe we have a question or two, Atul.
Yes, we've got Deepika ma'am asking us, please guide us how to connect emotionally with students as they treat us as mentors.
Very good. Great point. In fact, if you can balance between being a friend and a teacher, that is going to be great, because they are really fond of you as almost like an older person who is a friend, yet they respect you. And the distance is also there, so that they cannot take you lightly. They're not laughing at you or something like that. They are respecting you. They are fond of you. They listen to you. So try and have that emotional connection with the kids. Not too much terror and not too much softness. Just a balance between friendship and discipline would be great. I think that would be. I think we have one.
And I think Preeti ma'am is asking, of course, she's saying thank you. But she's also asking, how do we keep children away from distractions due to social media?
Yeah, so that's a very important point. Social media is something which is sweeping the world. And in this era, in this time, especially, people are spending more screen time. And children need to be made to play outdoors. That's one thing. If they physical exercise, if they do, they will sleep on time without spending time on Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram. Instagram is the main problem nowadays. Children spend hours and hours on Instagram. I'm also on Instagram, so it's okay, but it's to be balanced. And balance is difficult. There's so much attraction to social media and so distracting. But maybe when children are young, they can be told to balance their timings. You can give them some time when, okay, ye aadha ghanta you can be on Facebook, but not beyond that. Maybe some timetable like that will help.
I think technology also can help, because we can lock the phone beyond a point.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Also forcing them to possibly have a phone-free day today, something of that sort. I think that's important. But I also think, as parents and teachers, we also play a role, because I've seen many times parents, they just give the phone over to the kid because, the kid doesn't cry if the phone is with him or her. I think we just need to avoid that type of, or encourage our parents not to have that type of attitude, Vivek.
Point. They do it with little kids. And we have a question from Deepika ma'am, which says, please guide us how to connect emotionally. So you've already read that out, Atul. So
absolutely. And I think Anurag is telling us that Principal ma'am has joined from the teachers link. So okay, welcome, ma'am. We can't see you, but we can get the very positive vibes from you. Thank you for that. Any last thoughts, Vivek, before we close? I think we are coming to the end of the questions.
Last thoughts are that firstly, I must show you my book. This is my book called Finding Success Within. And this is about success and balanced lives of young people. 52 life skills I've given. So we have to focus on life skills, teachers. Life skills are skills beyond the classroom and syllabus. So that is how you will bring out emotionally balanced children. And when stresses and strains come, they will be prepared for them. So you have to inspire them with stories in the classroom. Even if you are a maths teacher, tell them some story and whatever you can do. So tell them examples of inspiration. Atul likes to talk of inspiration, and that is something which should be a part of their lives and really, really important. Deepika ma'am is asking how to get the book. It's available on Amazon. You just search, you'll find it.
Absolutely. I think we'll also, so Shikha or Anurag, you can possibly send the link over. Vivek, I'm very tempted to do my rapid fire on you.
Okay.
Are you ready for that?
I don't know if the audience is ready for it, but I'm ready.
Let's do that. Your favorite book?
Favorite book is Autobiography of a Yogi, which I showed you, by Paramahansa Yogananda. And nowadays, Atul and I have been talking about Yuval Noah Harari's series, Sapiens, Homo Deus, and 21 Ideas for the 21st Century. So read Yuval Noah Harari also.
So your favorite teacher and why?
Oh, my favorite teacher was actually Brother Murray. And he was a teacher at St. John's. I mentioned him in one of my, I think in my book launch. And if you remember, I said that I was a new boy. I came to the school and boys were very difficult with me. Naya bacha hai. You know, that social emotional learning was not there. So they used to bully me for a while. I was okay. But one day, this Brother Murray, he praised me in front of the whole class. New boy. He's a good boy because I answered something well. So that made me more popular and people started looking at me differently. So he was and he was very inspiring. Great teacher.
So something you're really proud of, the most proud thing that you've ever done?
I think a proud moment is when somebody calls you up after years or meets you somewhere and says that, sir, I've been in public service in IAS in government. So, sir, आपने वो 1995 में मेरा आपने वो काम किया था. वो 25 साल हो गए. He still remembers. I think that makes me proud. Yeah.
And your favorite university? That's a tricky one, right?
Shulini University is my favorite university. I tell you, students, I mean teachers, if you have not been to Shulini campus, you are in Solon, please go there and you will find that it is a wonderful campus, great vibration and great learning.
Thank you, Vivek. I think we're coming to an end. We can have Principal Ma'am on board. Kamal, if you can promote her as a panelist, we'll appreciate. If we can see her, we can try for that for a second. But it's been so wonderful talking to all of you. I can tell you that I'm actually beaming with energy right now, and this is my 4th webinar right now. So, but I'm still so excited. I think it's just the energy of the audience that makes it so special.
I have one immediately after this with Mr. Bishan Bedi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh,
there we are.
That's
Sneh ma'am. Can you see us, ma'am, now?
At last, sir, I can see now. Anyhow, I joined actually teachers panel. So thank you so much, panelists, Honorable Khosla sir, Honorable Vivek sir. So inspiring quotes. And just I want to also quote the Guljar few lines.
Oh, lovely.
Because it is applicable nowadays. Ghar Gulzar, आजकल घरों में रौनक है, सूने शहर, बस्ती बस्ती में कैद हर हस्ती हो गई. आज फिर जिंदगी महंगी और दौलत सस्ती होगी. I'm inspired by Khosla sir, so thank you so much, sir. And Vivek sir, especially the fact which you talked about inner to outer energy, that's really matters a lot, because nowadays we are focusing much on materialistic word. So really inspiring quotes. I have noted so many points out of your lecture and your, I can say, precious quotes. Thank you so much. And you have referred the book of Obama and your own books. So I have screenshot all those. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And it's a capturing essence of the today's session. And I hope And my teachers truly blessed with the essence of today's session, because it's totally depend on the inner core, emotions. It's not outer. So thank you so much, sir. Maybe, might be, we are going to looking forward so many other sessions also. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Anurag sir, for inspiring and for motivating me to take up this opportunity. Thank you, other panelists, if anybody has joined over there indirectly. Thank you, my team of teachers. That's really, I just want to say about my team. We are working together always. It may be positive quotation or negative. Always we are on the looking the positive side of the challenging, and we are taking this COVID-19 as an opportunity. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay happy, and always keep smile on your faces. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. What beautiful words to end. And we look forward to meeting you soon. I do hope that Corona gets over very soon. And Vivek and I would love to come and visit your lovely school and meet you in person, ma'am. Thank you very much.
And with special reference to the 26 qualities of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. That's really
Absolutely
inspiring, sir, because we are following that philosophy and the quotation of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.